congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
Obviously, it was a very dominant performance, coming on 14 days, stepping in. Can you talk us through your emotions right now, and do you think the fight should have been stopped a bit earlier? I saw you sort of looked at the referee a few times.
It just feels surreal, the fact that, you know, it's 2 weeks ago. I never had a clue about any of this. It was actually my birthday 2 weeks ago, on the 25th, and I didn't expect any phone call or anything, so I kind of celebrated with, I ate pizza and some birthday cake, and then it was the next day I found out I was 84.5 kilos. I'm not sure what that is in pounds, but you know, I was 15 kilos out, and I got a text message from my coach, James Dillon, saying there's a possible fight at welterweight in some show in China or something, I don't know. Could you make the weight? And I'm saying I'm not sure. And then I get the phone call later on about the UFC at lightweight. I'm thinking, you know, but yeah, I was always going to try and make it, and just so glad that, you know, I made it and trained as hard as I could, and now it's all been worth it.
Were you worried that you might not make the weight?
Yeah, well, first of all, when I took it, I was kind of thinking, you know, I might miss the weight, but it was just one of the things where, you know, I couldn't turn it down. I had to try. It's like Paul Redmond when he got his offer. He missed the weight by 5 pounds, and you know, but he got the contract sort of. But just, you know, as soon as I kind of said that, right, let's do it, that was it.
Does that make it a bit more satisfying, the fact that you were able to make weight and get the victory in your debut at the same time?
Yeah, well, I always pictured, you know, my UFC debut to be in the best shape ever. And obviously it's a bit hard to do that on 2 weeks' notice. So, but I'm just so glad I dieted really hard and trained hard, and something's going on with my voice. But yeah, I'm just so glad that, you know, it's like everything happened for a reason.
Can you sum up?
You nearly got a stoppage in the first round. Just how close was you to getting the submission? And did him grabbing the fence play your mind there?
I didn't even notice him grabbing the fence, but it was really close. I heard him really struggling to breathe. I think the only thing that kept him, as soon as I heard the knock, I thought, oh, I'm not going to get it now, because if I was in the submission, you know, and I heard that knock, it kind of gives you that extra energy just to hang on. So I knew that it was almost there, but when the knock went, I thought he's going to hang on and he's maybe going to pass out. So as soon as the bell went, I made sure he was still awake. I thought he was maybe out, but you know, he hung on, and a couple of times I nearly subbed him. For him being a submission specialist, I felt like my grappling was pretty much on point, and controlled him and kind of never gave him a chance to get my legs what he was good at. You know, the last few weeks we were obviously practicing to for him not to get on the legs, but 15 days you've not got much preparation.
How were your arms holding up after them submissions? Were you squeezing quite hard? Did that play on your mind when the round finished?
A little bit. I was kind of thinking, oh, my arms are a little bit heavy now, but I knew that, you know, squeezing it would burn my arms a bit, but it was also really affecting his breathing. So I looked over at the end of the first round, you know, he was really struggling to catch his breath, so it was tiring him out as well as it was tiring, you know, my arms out. But
and what's the first thought that came into your mind when you secured the stoppage?
I don't know, it was just surreal. Just couldn't believe it, the fact that, you know, that's it, 1-0 in the UFC, and the journey continues, and yeah, it's just unbelievable.
So is the next stop for the journey to get onto the Glasgow card?
That's it. I've no injuries. I can't even remember getting hit actually, but I probably did. But you know, I feel absolutely fine. I've got a little bit of sore throat last night. I sort of realised there was something going on with my throat. I don't know if it's my ears but I feel I'm sounding awfully weird, and I was a bit worried that something was going to happen. I was going to have to pull out the fight, but just had a bit of a sore throat yesterday and today. But apart from that, I've no injuries at all, and I'm sure there's thousands of Scotland fans wanting me on that card.
What would it mean to you to obviously fight on the very first UFC event in Glasgow to you personally?
Just like a dream come true, really. You know, I've just fought in the first ever Poland card as well, and it's just, you know, I've made. I didn't even know what to say. I'm lost for words a bit, but I'd love to be on that card. I've not fought in Scotland for a few years, and I've got quite a vocal fan base, and even when I sell sometimes 20 tickets, you know, my fans are really loud and passionate and stuff. So even 15 days notice, I think I've got about 20 to 30 people come over, and so it means a lot for me for people to book up and spend however much money it would cost to come over, and now I can kind of give it back to them a bit. And they can fight, you know, they can come and watch me locally and save a bit of money.
I noticed you felt the need to apologise to Polish fans afterwards. Could you sort of like detail what that was about?
I just know how it feels. You know, they'll all be disappointed because, you know, you always want your hometown fighter to win. It's always a better night so that was it really. Just
Marcin was known for a particularly dangerous ground game. You made it look easy. What do you think? How hard was it on the ground?
I always believed in my overall game anyway, but you know, he was a very dangerous grappler that, like you said, I kind of made it look a bit easy on the ground. He was quite sloppy, I felt, you know, pulling guards a few times. He pulled mount, gave me the mount, and for him being a BJJ brown belt and leg lock specialist, I felt like my ground game was sort of on par. And the last 2 weeks we were drilling certain things to obviously stay away from his game or the leg locks and stuff. But
so the end of round one,
good.
he was sort of cut up a bit, nearly submitted. How, as a fighter, does that lead you into round two? And did you see the finish was coming in the second round?
Yeah, I noticed his nose just was really bleeding at one point. I don't even know how I done that. If it was the left straight, I think I've caught a left straight, but I just remember he being in sort of 50-50 position and then blood coming from everywhere, and I'm saying, I think that's, you know, and then I seen it was all over his face, so that made me feel a little bit better. But sorry, what was the question again?
Well, just how did that sort of spur you on, and did you expect the stoppage in the second round?
Well, yeah, when I was on top of him, I heard the referee saying, you know, you're going to have to protect yourself to him a few times, and I'm throwing bombs trying to put him out, and there was a good 10 really hard shots, and he wasn't defending himself. And I remember looking at the ref at one point saying, you know, you've told him to defend himself. And then I knew the stoppage was going to happen.
What do you think this means for the Dinky Ninjas fight team to have a good strong handful of guys in the UFC now?
For the Dinky Ninja fight team, I think it gives that sort of motivation to all of our other fighters. We've got me, Robert and Jojo, and you know, that's 3 of us. We've still got a lot of talented fighters that, you know, some people might not know of. My teammate that's here today, there's people like him, Martin Delaney, and Graham Turner. I could go on, Alan Johnson. We've got a lot of high level fighters that are kind of on the cusp of getting there, and I think that will give them the sort of motivation. And I think it's kind of what Ireland's doing, and now there's going to be a Scottish takeover, and it just so happens that the Dinky Ninja fight team is really the only fight team in Scotland where, you know, it's the top level, and they're going to be seeing a lot more Dinky Ninjas in the UFC soon, I think.
Just on seeing more of the Dinky Ninjas, how do you feel about Dinky Ninjas versus SPG, or a tough style EMEA version?
Yeah, it sounds good. Never really thought about that before, but Scotland's a little bit like Ireland, you know. There's that sort of history, the battlefield, and what McGregor always goes on about. You know, we've fighting's in our blood, and Scottish and Irish. You know, we like fighting and we like alcohol as well. So both of them together always brings a good night.
And how does this win compare to winning the Cage Warriors title?
This is obviously a step above. Winning the Cage Warriors title, you know, I won it 3 times, I think, or I won it twice and defended it once. Amazing. Just every single win feels amazing. But obviously, you know, I've I was at the top end of Cage Warriors, and now I've moved up, but I'm now at the bottom of the sort of UFC, and yeah, it just feels amazing. And
There are a lot of fans that obviously saw you fight for the very first time tonight. I was looking online on Twitter. You got some great feedback in terms of your ring entrance music, the Braveheart theme. Is that something that you're going to stick with in terms of future UFC appearances?
Yeah, well, I'm Scottish, and I fight for my country, and I quite liked it that I went out to a sort of Scottish theme and just let all the sort of Scottish fans know that I'm fighting for the country, and it's not just a sort of, even though it is a individual sport kind of, that it's I'm doing it for my country, and yeah, I'll probably be looking to continue that.
How much help do you think that trilogy was with Kurt Warburton to have 3 fights against a UFC veteran? Do you think that aided you in transitioning to the UFC?
Yeah, the trilogy with Warburton, he had fought in the UFC before I fought him the first time, and I think I gave him a little bit too much respect the first time, because I think the UFC thing kind of got to me a bit. He had fought in the UFC, and I hadn't really fought anybody that had been in yet and stuff, and I gave him too much respect, and I thought he would be better than he was, and then to lose a decision, to then win a decision, and then stop the fight. It's like I've went up in style every fight and kind of got better and seen myself improve against the same person. So, and obviously the nervousness as well, it's always more nerve-wracking about going in one a piece, or even the second time, losing to somebody once. You never want to lose to the same person twice. So yeah, it definitely helps. I think it's helped my career.
Was there any nerves walking into the arena? Obviously it's a big arena, you've not fought in an arena that size before.
Surprisingly, it wasn't. It just felt like the same as any other fight. I felt, even before the fight and stuff, I felt like I was just going out and fighting in Cage Warriors again. I'm not sure if it's the whole, is it John Gooden? The fact that he used to work for Cage Warriors, and he's called a lot of my fights before, and just hearing sort of felt like I was just doing the same thing over and over again, and I didn't really notice how many people was actually there. It just, I don't know, but every fight I get nervous, but I think it all, you need those nerves, and it brings you on as a fighter. It's just about controlling it, and yeah.
Is there anyone you'd like to thank after this victory?
Just thank the UFC for giving me the opportunity. I'm lucky that, I hope that Jason Sago, obviously, whatever's wrong with him, that he recovers quickly, but I'm glad obviously that he got injured as well, because I wouldn't have got the chance. But yeah, just thanks to Joe Silva and UFC and for giving me the opportunity. Thanks all my friends, family, teammates, sponsors, my management, all the fans, everyone. Just, yeah.
Thanks,
Steve.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.